The CrossFit community was absolutely blown away when it first met Annie Holmes, a 93-year-old athlete at Auburn CrossFit in Auburn, California. Annie started CrossFit at 89 years old, and 4 years into her journey, she was raving about her positive experiences at her gym. She said she fell in love with the way her body was changing and that she was finding muscles she never knew she had. Staying active and connecting with others were also huge benefits for Annie, and we can't wait to check in to see what she's been up to. And we are welcomed now by Annie Holmes, who is joining us post-CrossFit class. She's getting a little bit of energy back in her with some nice, strong coffee. Annie, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Tommy. It's fun to be here.
And so you just mentioned before we were recording that you finished up a CrossFit class this morning. What has been your schedule lately in terms of going to classes and how often you're training? We
have a team called Legends, and it was designed for seniors. I go 4 days a week. It's a big group. There are 17 of us now, but
you did mention that Legends class and the growth of it. And I imagine that maybe there were some seniors that were inspired by your video posting. Was that the case? And if so, how have you been able to see the impact that CrossFit has had on their lives as your Legends class grows?
We got 4 enlistees who saw the video and came because of me. I think our coach Cinnamon started another class just for them. Because our class is pretty big. We have to have 2 coaches when they're with us. There's one who was very, very unfit, very overweight, but had a wonderful, wonderful attitude. And we could see her progress. I mean, it was just marvelous to see the little increments every time, a little bit farther she could get. And that was heartwarming.
And speaking of progress, in the video, the initial video, you mentioned, and Cinnamon mentioned that, when you started, you had trouble even just moving and bear crawling a few steps. And obviously, there's been some tremendous improvements since then. So what would you say at this point has been your biggest physical accomplishment in CrossFit and your biggest mental accomplishment?
I hold the championship on the team for the plank. You know what that is?
That's awesome.
You're CrossFit. Nobody has beat me yet. My record is 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and no one has overachieved that. But
on the other side of that, with the mental aspect, what has been the kind of the biggest mental accomplishments for you?
Just never say I can't. I've tried to wipe that out of my vocabulary. There's something binding about struggling together with other people. We support each other and we get to love each other. We do a lot of things together outside of the teamwork. And I would like anybody who's at all interested to know that this was a bonus I never expected, and I would never give up. I may give up going to Sunday school, but I will never give up CrossFit.
And that speaks to your community at Auburn CrossFit as well. You kind of touched on it a little bit there about how you guys go do stuff outside of the gym. But, can you speak a little bit to just how supportive they've been for you and your journey?
They gave me a huge birthday party and with a transportable mural that I now have in my bedroom and all these little messages to me. And the most common one is that I inspire them. And so the feeling is mutual.
Oftentimes we hear people say, I'm too old, I'm not fit enough to start CrossFit. And you're living proof that that's not the case. So what would you say to someone who maybe has that thought in their head that they can't start it yet? Or maybe someone who's trying to get their grandparents or parents into CrossFit?
I just, I get so much out of it. It's a whole social life. And they're like family too. It's now more than friendship. We've seen each other cry. We've seen each other in pain. We've seen each other frustrated because some of the things, some of the workouts are modified for each of us because we each have some kind of physical challenge. Everything I try, I am getting a little better every day, which is not your ordinary nonagenarian experience.
I think the hope is that as more people get to see your journey and get to see your improvement and your progress, we can start to normalize that through more people taking on that journey themselves and hopefully finding the same benefits for sure.
I would like to say, if you're a senior and you're thinking this is not for you, you are in for a big surprise. Whatever you think you can't do is going to surprise you, because you will find people saying all around you, saying, you can do it, you can do it. We will you to do this. And you'll say, how can I let them down?
Well, Annie, that's a phenomenal message, I think, to wrap things up on. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me a little bit. I think I speak for everyone when I say that seeing your story has inspired us as well to get back in the gym. I know personally, I'm going to go start working on my planks now. We wish you the best of luck in your journey and hopefully get to check in with you soon.